I haven't documented anything in a few days. Content hasn't really been that great. Today will mark the third race missed this season. I have gotten some done. More paint colors on it. I still got to paint the top. Got to sand down this peeling the clear coat messed up on this hood I got. It's supposed to be a race car. I want it to look good from across the track. It's going to get scratched, dented. I've seen them roll over, so putting a lot of effort into making the paint look good is really unnecessary. Going with the yellow, white, and blue theme. I'm gonna have red wheels. This is I have to say, it's years ago when I worked with a fellow named Dan on race cars. We ran a Thunderbird and it was this color scheme, but mostly because when I was watching the cars in the track at night, I think the yellow stands out the most. And our race car was this theme, so I'm just going to carry that on. That was a race team I was part of for many years. I got the roll cage welded in. The welds are all burger welds, but they're strong. I'm not proud of the welding. And it's messy as hell, but it's there, it's solid. I ordered the setup to put the seat in. That should be here by Wednesday. This is a long jumper cable. It's actually much longer than I needed, but it's a heavy duty 1-gauge wire to relocate my battery to the back. It cost less to buy a whole jumper booster cable than it did to buy individual wiring to go to the front. I need to finish putting my rock guard up for my radiator. I put hood pins in. I need to get some cables or some spare. There's hood bumpers that go here. I just put them there. It's not very solid, but I just want to keep the hood from popping up and see that wiring will go to the power box right there, and then I'll end up grounding it in a supply power. And I got to try to find a intake manifold today, maybe a alternator as well, if I can find an alternator when we go out to the salvage yard. But definitely these intake manifolds are expensive and they're known for cracking and breaking apart. This one, the heater, the port for the heater hose was rotten off, and I kind of jerry-rigged to fix, but I don't think it's going to hold. I don't want to get to the point when we were on the track and depending on it. So I'll do that today. It's kind of a mess trying to get this all done, and things just start collecting everywhere. I gotta fix my steering column because putting this bar across made it so that if I bolt the steering column up where it was, the shifter will hit So we're gonna just lower it down, but I need to wait until I get that seat mounted. And got some overspray on the gauges, but that's no big deal. I got to put in a metal dash part to go across to cover all that. These are these are basically keep big items from falling, getting shot into me while I drive. I've seen a lot of the cars are welding them from the top of the roll cage to this here, and it pushes it in. I've seen some weld it from the outside of the window to the top of the window. I'm just going to try to do from the top of the roll cage to the bottom of the window itself. It kind of keeps it further out. This is just rebar. It was inexpensive. I think it was like $5 a piece. Every single thing that I end up having to buy for this is much more expensive than I anticipated. But I may end up getting another one, so it adds a little bit more protection on the other side. This is so I talk about when I used to race before, and Dan and I used to run that old Thunderbird. I had set up a toolbox that we could take to the track. And this was 100 years ago, obviously not quite that many, but it was a long time. It was a portion of my life that was very, very much different than any other section of my life. We were involved. We worked on a race car most every day, a lot of late nights. It was like a second job, and it was just very addictive. And my kids were very little. It was before we bought a house, before life got complicated. But I don't throw anything away. This is that old toolbox, and these are the colors that were on it way back when. It had his number on it, and I started painting my number on it. He was number 81, and I've always been number 30. I still got racing stickers on it, and there's the last year we raced and the schedule. Yeah, it's kind of nostalgic. So another good reason for keeping the same color scheme is we already got a pit box painted up for it. Yeah, I gotta finish putting the, you see how dirty those welds are. That'll clean up, but this is my battery tray. My battery going here. I just use the ratchet strap to hold it all together. They have to be covered back here. These covers lock on, but I got a ratchet strap the battery itself, not the box, because we don't want that battery floating around in there. The battery's pretty heavy. Here's the wheels, and I got some tires. I've never heard of this brand. It's just a generic brand. It says racing on them, so they must be super fast tires. They are a ZR rating. I sent an email to one of the tracks to make sure that this is a okay tire to run, and I got, their blessings. It's the 420 tread wear, so it makes it soft. You're not supposed to use performance tires, but these are just, they cost me $85 a piece. And I found that I can get them probably $25 less some other places. I remember when I first started and I had my little 6-cylinder race car, we just went to the local tire shop and dug through tires in their used, their junk tire pile, and just got bald tires and went out and raced. Of course, we were racing asphalt, but even if we were wanting to buy tires, hell, you could buy tires then, cheap economy tires like this for $20. It's, I know I talk about the cost a lot, but it's important to understand this is an economy class. We're not spending $200,000 on this car, and it's a lot of little things that add up, and it's important that people understand when you see these cars running around the track or being towed to the track or sitting in somebody's yard. There's a lot of dedication and spare money that goes into it, and it's always a constant battle of, how do I figure out how to pay for what I need to get this thing on the track? And then it's, how do I keep this thing going on the track? There's one of the fellas that races over in Virginia. He got hit real hard the first opening race, and his roll cage is damaged, and he wasn't able to run race number 2. And the races they're just going to keep going, and you're going to have race every other weekend or a race somewheres, and through the season, then the season ends, and then it's may feel like, all right, that's the point when you decide, are we going to do this again? So people overlook the cost of little things like tires, or the fact that my air compressor that I've had, my dad bought it right before he died in 2003. Well, that doesn't work anymore. And these are the moments that I needed those things. And it's a little bit more than that, because I keep those things that he gave me before he died, because it makes me feel like he's participating in this with me as well. So it's kind of, I'm going to take it apart, see if I can get it fixed. It's just a cheap air compressor, but it was his. So yeah, so further update, I finally got that rear window out. That was a bitch. And you can see that this color scheme is just initial coat. I'm pretty much done with the blue. There's a lot of overspray. I wanted to paint the insides, because the insides are this old man brown, tan color, beige, whatever it is. I wanted to paint the C-pillars on the inside blue, so that at the racetrack, when they look at the car, they'll see that it's, the interior's, the roll cage is blue, and that matches. That creates some overspray, but I got this super can of, look at this. This is a super can of gloss white, and it'll probably run like a, real bad. I gotta give a quick sand down on the hood and the roof. I'm gonna have, it's gonna be yellow here all the way across, and then white all the way forward to the top of the fenders. I'm gonna go, probably, there's a body line right here. I'm gonna go white up. That clear coat feels really bad on this car. Sorry, it's a race car. So once I get all the welding done, meaning especially these window bars, I got to find some bars that go across here, so I can put my doors on. I gotta weld those up, that way when I get hit in the side, it doesn't cave in. I gotta do that for each side, and that'll be the, so I got the seat mount. I gotta put in harness My window net, which I have the same window net I ran decades ago. I probably should end up getting a new one. I got these door bars I got to put on, and then I should be done welding. I got the seals from O'Reilly's yesterday to put my rear gears in. The car runs pretty good. There shouldn't have to worry about any of that, and the brakes are okay. I think they're all right enough to, I haven't taken the rear wheels off yet, but the brakes should be all right to at least get around the dirt a couple times. The shocks are leaking terribly in the back. I gotta get some shocks for it. I'm really not gonna do a whole lot with the suspension at all, but I definitely need shocks in the back. And so there, yeah, that's our update. I haven't been very good about doing the whole content thing. A lot of it's getting done work and getting back here 7:30, sometimes 8 o'clock, and coming out and just trying to work for an hour. Sometimes it's raining, and there's always other things that have to be done. Important to understand, this is not a full-time job. This is a part-time obsession. So you really can, you're putting in as much time as the world allows you to, and the world's always pulling you in every other direction, and everybody needs you to do something. And it's just, I've been, blessed to get as much done as I can, and there's a lot of leniency because everybody in my circle knows that this is, it's a necessity. And for me, I'm going to put a thing on the back of the car right across here that says one more run. Maybe it's a midlife crisis, end of life crisis, whatever the case may be. I really enjoyed doing it 100 years ago, and it was kind of taken from me. So at this point, I don't have aspirations of becoming a NASCAR driver, but I would like to have one more run, just to get out there and try running on dirt, and I can take this same car and run on asphalt. Before my life comes so complicated and, even more important, restricted, because I just get too old to do something, I like to just get one more run. So hopefully before too long, we'll have videos of this thing just kicking up dirt, and document the problems that are related to trying to run a race car. But yeah, until then. So we got some color on it now. Some gloss white. Got a red wheels and racing tires on it. Put some lettering, get the rear wheels on. Gotta still put that rear gear set in it. Put that door assembly on it. But it's coming along. Certainly looked like a race car once we put numbers on it.